Hi, my name is Ryan Rominger, and I'd like to welcome you to Qualitative Research Methods. I wanted to create this video as a video introduction to the course because there's probably going to be a few of you who aren't able to make it to the global seminar in which this course is really presented and started. So this video presentation is meant for those of you who didn't make it, but also for those of you who did and just want a refresher of what we covered in that introduction at the Global Seminar. Again, my name is Ryan Rominger, and I'm going to be the instructor for this course. Just a little bit about myself. I graduated from ITP in 2004 with my PhD, and I also had certifications in spiritual direction and in the expressive arts. My dissertation that I completed in 2004 was on the integration of the after effects of near-death experiences. It was a primarily intuitive inquiry umbrella with a mixed method research design. I collected interview data from individuals and the group of participants, expressive arts data, as well as pre and post-test survey because I ran 5-week groups and I wanted to see what changes they went through during that 5-week time. So qualitative research and mixed method research is really in my blood. I enjoy doing it. I've completed research that is primarily quantitative, but I find more enjoyment within qualitative research methods. I've used heuristic, hermeneutic, intuitive inquiry. I've sat on many dissertations at this point and completed many dissertations with students. And from everything from interpretative phenomenological analysis to the other methods I just mentioned, narrative, discourse analysis. There's quite a few of them. I was hired as a full-time faculty member in 2008, and I was doing adjunct research, faculty before that. Teaching, I taught at DeVry University back in 2000, actually, 2001. And then 2004 to 2008, I was teaching at ITP as adjunct. And then in 2008, hired full-time. And then was made an associate professor shortly after that, about 5 years after that. So formally, I'm an associate professor of psychology in the global Ph.D. program, but now these classes are being taught across the program. So I welcome all of you in the residential program as well as those of you in the global program. So to start off the formal content of this course, I'd like to get everybody situated with the syllabus, and then I'd like to spend some time showing you what the inside of the online class is going to look like. So if you wouldn't mind, make sure to download the syllabus and go through that before we start. Before you start the course, make sure to order all your texts as soon as you can so that you can get those in the mail. And I'll show you here in a minute what those texts are going to be. But you can either go along with me by looking at a printed syllabus as I'm going through this video, or you can just watch it here and then download the syllabus. Either way is fine. So again, on the syllabus, we have the title of the course, my name and how you can contact me. That can be important if we're going to have any times where we meet via phone, or if you have questions that you want to send me, you're welcome to do that. You can send me email questions at my Sofia email address or just within the Angel platform, or Canvas platform rather. We're using Canvas now, not Angel. My office hours, generally I'm online Mondays and Thursdays. But obviously, if you want to set up an appointment, we can meet outside of those times as well. Go ahead and read the course description. Basically, it says that this course focuses on qualitative research methods, and the goal is to teach you not only theory around qualitative research and the emergence of qualitative research over the past several decades, but more specifically the skills in order to be a qualitative researcher yourself. So in this class, you're going to be learning theory on the one hand, but there's a praxis component. You're going to be actually conducting an interview and transcribing and analyzing that interview as well. We have my philosophy of teaching. Basically, I'm a holistic, whole person perspective on the philosophy of teaching. Go ahead and read that. Obviously, it's an online hybrid course, started at the Global Seminar, but primarily taught online. It's taught in an asynchronous way, so you'll see videos as well as posted documents and then discussions that happen every week, as well as the assignment that you're going to be uploading each week. So you can do it at your leisure on your own time throughout the week, but we do progress along as a group through the weeks, week by week. It's not something you can just put off and then do a bunch of weeks all at once. I do want you to be working on the course continually week to week. There are no prerequisites for this course. The course is open. And then we have a section on course policies. Please go ahead and read those, having to do with academic honesty, confidentiality, individual and cultural differences, and accommodations for disability. The next section is on the course aims and how they relate to the learning objectives within the course learning objectives. Make sure that you're aware of what the course aims are so you aren't disillusioned if we aren't meeting your particular goals. You can look and see what the aims of the actual course are. Although it would be nice to hear from you of what you want to learn from this course. So if you want to take a moment and email me and let me know that, or let me know in one of the first postings, that'd be fine too. So in addition to the learning objectives, the aims, we have the actual learning objectives themselves, which is to understand basic qualitative research theory and the history of the emergence of qualitative research methods, create a semi-structured interview protocol, inform consent form and conduct the interview, to transcribe that interview, and analyze an interview transcript using thematic content analysis, memo making, first and second cycle coding, and also to have a deeper understanding of the qualitative methods used. I have 3 there, but it's actually supposed to be the. With regard to their epistemology, ontology, and historical connection to the general field of qualitative research methods. There's a section on transpersonal qualities, and then we get into the evidence for criteria and evaluation. Go ahead and look at that. When you're making posts or you're writing papers, I'm going to be looking at certain things, how well you're writing, the depth of thought, your engagement with your praxis, your practical application of what we're doing. All of that's going to be taken into consideration for your final grade. Please do write in APA style, APA Sofia style, when you write your posts and when you write your papers. As far as incompletes, I strongly discourage incompletes, particularly for this class. This class is content heavy, but the further you get behind in your coursework in the program, then you're continually trying to play catch up, and so I do discourage incompletes. If there are exceptional circumstances, then please do email me and let me know ahead of time, or when something happens, let me know right away so that we can work together to try and pave a pathway forward for you. Required reading for this course, obviously the publication manual, 6th edition. If you do have the first printing, I would recommend that you get the second printing. It corrects a lot of the errors that are in the first printing of the APA manual for 6th edition. The next book there is Patricia Levy's Method Meets Art, Art-Based Research Practice. On week 10, we're going to be discussing art-based research. Moustakis, Heuristic Research, Design, Methodology, and Applications. Saldana's The Coding Manual for Qualitative Researchers. Seidman's Interviewing as Qualitative Research, A Guide for Researchers in Education and the Social Sciences. That book is actually going to be the first text I'm going to have you read, so make sure that you get that one right away. The Moustakis and the Levy books are later in the quarter, but the Seidman book is, you really want to get that quickly. So if you need to, that would be one that I would say expedite in the mail if you can. And then Wirtz et al. Is 5 ways of doing qualitative analysis: phenomenological psychology, grounded theory, discourse analysis, narrative research, and intuitive inquiry. That text we're going to be reading throughout the course, so you want to have that one early as well. Chapter 1, in fact, you're going to be reading during the 2nd week. Along with the required readings, we're going to have a study guide, and that study guide is already posted online for you to browse through. The study guide is essentially, it's a listing of articles broken down into various topics. and primarily they're broken down into different research methods. So you have a bunch of articles and books listed under heuristic research, a bunch under phenomenology, a bunch under hermeneutics. And so you can use that as a way to dive deeper into a particular research method, especially if you're going to be using that for your dissertation research. This is a resource for you. In the appendices, you'll find two references to the papers. Now, Appendix A will be important for you to use. Appendix B, not so much, because I'm not utilizing that assignment the way that Rosemary Anderson did when she taught the course. But Appendix A will be important. So in addition to the study guide and the required texts here, you'll notice online once you get into the course that there will be a number of articles that are posted online. And those will be articles that you'll be reading along with the texts that we have here to supplement your reading of the texts. So after the required reading, there's a support texts section, which are not required texts. They're just informational for those of you who might be interested in reading them. Obviously, we have Anderson and Broad's Transforming Self and Others, Cresswell's Qualitative Inquiry and Research Design. Cresswell also has a Mixed Methods Design, which is very handy. Understanding Research Methods by Patton. Smith's Interpretative Phenomenological Analysis is very handy for those who are wanting to do more of the interpretative or hermeneutical phenomenology. And Wolcott's Transforming Qualitative Data. The class is primarily praxis-oriented, you actually getting in there and doing the interview and the transcription and the analysis. So that's why it's 60% here. The dialogue, the online discussion is what's 40%. It's important that we are engaging in weekly discussion back and forth about the theory to help deepen your understanding and solidify it, bring it together, and be able to talk about the theory and what it means for the different research methods. The next section are different things that you should read regarding attendance and being present, as well as posting guidelines and paper guidelines. Now this is important for you to read, and because it lists my expectations regarding your attendance, your presence online, as well as what I mean by significant posts and papers being in a particular format. So make sure to really read this and look over it, and so you understand what it is I'm expecting, because you're going to be graded on that. The final sections are on assignments and how the weeks play out. So then we have the assignments and the due dates. Friday of each week is when I ask that things be done, and that allows you to construct the papers or do what you needed to do over the week and hand it in on Friday, and I can work on responding over the weekend if I need to, or early the next week, so I can get you feedback. And the assignment details, right after this section, the assignment details goes into more depth about what each of those assignments is requiring. So you have the weekly reading discussion post, you have the completed interviews, the transcription of the interviews. So it's what I expect for those particular assignments. And the final part of the syllabus is the class outline. Each week we're going to have readings, each week we're going to have discussions, and something that you're going to have due. Some sort of assignment. Like I mentioned, this particular class tends to be content heavy. It's a lot of reading, and sometimes people have a hard time keeping up if they get behind. So to that end, the very first week I'm actually designating as a reading week. It's not going to be, there's no assignments per se, but I would like you to come online and post in the welcome area and let us know who you are and that you're showing up, and introduce yourself. But primarily what I want you to do that first week is start your readings, get that Saldana text read on interviewing. That's the first 2 weeks. Week 2 and week 3, really, we're going to be focusing on interviewing and getting your interview questions set up and talking about what it means to interview somebody. So having that text read ahead of time is going to be helpful. There's an article for that week as well on transpersonal methodologies, which is very handy for understanding the qualitative research as is positioned within the humanistic and transpersonal paradigm. From there on out, you'll be reading the combination of text and articles as posted. So I'll just scroll through here so you can see it. I do have each week really laid out as far as what we're going to be reading and the discussions. Each week I try and have one discussion area on theory and one discussion on the application, the praxis. So that way we can have the theoretical discussions and questions in one area, and then in another area we can be talking about questions like, okay, I'm trying to recruit my participant. How do I do that? I'm having this trouble. It's more logistics oriented, and how to get your praxis papers or elements completed. So now let me switch over to the course itself. This is what your class looks like. In fact, if I go into the student view, I'll show you exactly what it should look like for you. And give me a moment here while I'm switching over into the student view. Hopefully all of you have been within the Canvas area already. So they're grayed out right now because the class isn't open yet. So these will turn a different color, green I believe it is, once they're active. But you'll see the structure still. We're going to have an office area where you can ask questions, and I'll post updates or announcements in that office area. Please do check that area often, if not every couple days for sure. Then we have the syllabus that you can download, the study guide, and an article that I wanted to make sure to post for those of you who are considering doing your qualitative dissertation. There's this article here, the Qualitative Doctoral Dissertation Proposal, which can be quite handy. Then you have the class broken down per week. You have week 1, the readings and introduction. Where it says read, that's not something you click on, that's just for information. So let's actually go down to week 2. In week 2 you can see that it says read 5 ways, chapter 1, and at least 2 articles in the supplemental area. So here's the supplemental articles, and you can actually click on these to download them and read them. And then you have the theory discussion and the application discussion, and then your assignment. You see the little paper with an A next to it, that's an assignment. And your assignment for week 1 is writing your topic in 1 sentence and then describing your ideal interviewee, the person that you want to interview. Week 3, I'm not going to go through all the weeks, but just a couple so you can see the structure of the class. Week 3, you see read the 5 ways chapter 2, and then at least 2 articles from the supplemental articles area. You can see the articles here that I've posted for you to download. And then again, theoretical discussion, praxis or application discussion, and your assignment for that week. And you just go into that area and upload your assignment when time is due. So I clicked on the assignment. This is the assignment area. When it opens up, you'll be able to upload a document into this area, and then you can go back there to receive feedback. All right, that is it for the class. If you have any questions, please do contact me, send me an email, send me a message through Canvas. I look forward to working with all of you online. Truly welcome, and let's make a great quarter of it. Take care.